In America today, things fall going in disarray. Now some might call my style old school. Youth 4 tracks before Pro Tools.
Actually, Mr. Mallahan said that we can't spend money we don't have, and that's what my mom always said, soon come money, soon come, but it's not here now. My second part of that question is, when King County and Sound Transit collaborated on running that train down the middle of the street, and we said, this is the shortest part of the lane, why can't we get a tunnel just like anyone else? And they said it was too expensive, which was crap. At the same time, they made an arrangement with the University of Washington to repair their seawall so their seismic property would not be affected, their seismic equipment. What would you do as the mayor to make sure, just like Sound Transit paid for that for the UW, that we as the city, there's ways out of everything, evidently because Sound Transit found a loophole. Where's the loophole with the seawall and the $9 million?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll be very clear. I don't think that we should, put those tunnel machines under the ground so long as Seattle's responsible for cost overruns. We don't yet have a cost estimate from the engineers to do this thing, and maybe that cost engineer is going to come back much higher than it's currently predicted. But I actually worked to get a parks levy on the ballot last year, and the mayor opposed it, but it was approved by the council to put on the ballot and passed by the voters, and the mayor's now building parks. So my statement today was simply an acknowledgement of the fact that if the city council has passed a piece of legislation, a mayor has to, uphold the legislation. It does not change the fact that I think that tunnel is a huge mistake for the city of Seattle, nor does it change my view that the city council and the legislature would be wise to revisit that decision.
Okay, 3 more questions.
Mike, I know you have a background in environmental, like with the Sierra Group.
Okay, 3 more questions.
Mike, I know you have a background in environmental, like with the Sierra Group and whatnot, and it seems though that the earth changes that we have to look at, not only is the tunnel is really something that doesn't make sense when we're dealing with coastal raising, the coastline going up, other types of earth changes. But I ask you on this, as far as looking into how we can start developing a local economic process that might provide us with the ability to accomplish that. And I know you've thought about this, but as mayor, would you put more time into trying to look into our local schools or high schools or colleges developing alternative energy technology training? There's vast numbers of types of technologies out there. You go on YouTube, you can type in hydroxy or Brown's gas or Hall Pantone. There's a lot of technology there. And most of these scientists, a lot of it has been suppressed, but is it time to make it something that's available for the people when an economy is crashing? We have to utilize new types of tools and technologies, and we've got to train the kids, the young people, to be able to take that task.
Not knowledgeable enough about the specific types of alternative technologies you discuss, but I do agree that we have an opportunity here in Seattle to start defining what a green economy looks like, and not just a green economy, but a green economy that helps provide really good local jobs. I mentioned the home energy efficiency, but another issue is building energy efficiency. That's more complex, and you have to, we could build training programs around that. I think there's lots of opportunities here for Seattle to, given who we are, and the reputation we have more broadly, if we can invent or, if we can work on creating new green jobs and new techniques, that's something we can then start exporting to other cities.
Mike, my name is Kenny Young. I'm a staffer here at SVI. My question is, over the last 3 years prior to coming to SVI, I worked with a group called the Bold Group, and that's like 20 Fortune 500 companies here in the Seattle, Redmond area that CEOs were concerned with minority students, students of color from around this area, getting their education, their 4-year degrees, their master's degrees, and leaving this area because they weren't sought after by enough companies. And they found a way to find pipelines to their companies using an executive director by the name of Mac Hogan's to find these pipelines and bring these talented young minorities to their companies to work for them and to stay in this region. Because what they said was happening was, in a sense, a brain drain in Seattle of our talented people leaving. Now, I would like to know what you would do as mayor to try to capture some of these talented people, because I see a lot of youth that are going to college, and then when they finish, they don't want to come back here because there's not a lot of opportunity for them. What would you do if you become mayor to capture those people, just like the Bold Group, which includes companies like Microsoft, Weyerhaeuser, Nordstrom? That's a bunch of them that are in this, and they really got their hands in there and they're getting dirty. And the students that are coming out actually meet high-level administrators and get opportunities for jobs with their companies. What would the city of Seattle do if you were mayor to try to get on that bandwagon?
Yeah, I think I can do it quicker than a minute. I mean, this is the first time you've informed me of a specific situation, and I would love to work on that. And you sound like you know a hell of a lot about this issue just from your personal experience. So I would love it if you would, work with me and let's figure out what the right government response.
My question is kind of got to do with jobs.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people out here that may have got in trouble prior, so they have felonies. So my question is, what about life after incarceration?
Yeah.
We can't get jobs. We don't want to be dishwashers. What can you do to help us get a better job just because we're a felon?
Yeah, and I know we do have some programs, POCAN's CURB program, which is to assist people that are coming out of jail and back into the community.
But a lot of us get good education in there. I mean, some people might even come out with degrees and stuff. And so we get a degree, but we have to put down on our application that we're a felon. We can't get no job. What can you do to help us get a higher part instead of something low? You know what I mean? Do you get what I'm saying?
No, I do get what you're saying, and I'd be very, I think that this is, given, the number of people in the situation you're describing.
Because there's a lot of smart people that's felons.
Right.
That
So,
have degrees, more than
yeah,
people that
so, I think this is a role for government then to, we were talking about the, getting a job stimulus money for energy efficiency jobs, right? Maybe you take a program like that and you target it towards that population, because that's a one that's harder to employ, or in city government, looking to see what types of opportunities we can do in city government in our hiring process to make sure we provide those types of opportunities as well. I would see that we would need to begin partnering with businesses in the community. Businesses come to government all the time for help.
that ain't scared of us because we're a felon.
Maybe we can talk to them if they want some help. Maybe they can help the city in working with, helping to employ people who need work.